Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday night. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what's the date, June something. The first month, Wednesday in June. Thank you for getting on tonight. Those of you that are connecting, or if you're having to watch the recording, I'm glad that you're plugging in and learning because this is a key part to our success, as we know. So, on our empowerment call here on Wednesday nights, just as a reminder, on the first Wednesday of the month, we do a getting started. And so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And this is an amazing training for those of you who are new and getting started yourself, or maybe relaunching your business. Those of you who are already a consultant and this is going to be valuable for you to learn how to start someone. And so we have the pleasure of learning tonight from the amazing area manager, Jessica Barrios, who is an absolute Arbonne pro. And I cannot wait for you guys to get to hear and learn from her. And I will keep stalling for a couple minutes because I see her chair, but not her. There she is. So Jessica, I am going to go ahead and just turn the rest of the call over to you so that we can learn from you and all of your wisdom in getting started.
All right, thanks, Marie. Sorry, I wasn't really running away. So yes, my name is Jessica, and I am an executive area manager, and I'm really excited to train with you guys tonight. As Marie said, once a month we do a getting started, and we help people who are new, who've said yes to this opportunity. We help them get started with their business. And this is also a great tool for those of you who have signed people up under you or with you and have partnered with people who are getting ready to start their business. So it benefits the new consultant. It also benefits the person who is the consultant that's a mentor and a coach. And this training can also benefit any of us. The reality is it's the lifeblood of our business is sponsoring. So if you're somebody who's busy in sponsoring, this just helps build your confidence, your comfort with it. If you're somebody who hasn't been busy sponsoring, this can help kind of get your juices flowing again and get you comfortable. Or maybe you're someone who needs to relaunch your business and you're ready to kind of like dive back into it. You've just been playing around and now you really see it. Whatever the case may be, this will help you. And I'm going to do my very best to keep it concise. 30 minutes is what we've got, and I really hope that it's helpful to you. I'm going to try to, like I said, move quick, but really give you some good nuts and bolts. But if you are new, one of the things I have to tell you is congratulations. Like, way to go. You said yes, and you said yes to this opportunity. You said yes to this being something different. Most of us do not play house as little girls or dream as boys, you know, that someday you're going to have a social marketing business and you're going to share protein powder and lipstick with people. For most of us, this isn't what we think we're going to end up doing. So by saying yes to this, you're saying yes to something different. And that's a good thing. It's good to do something different and new. So congratulations to you and to taking the first steps. So the other thing that I think is really important is that when you get started, there's some tools we're going to use tonight. And I want to kind of I'm going to do a screen share, and I'm going to share a couple of places for you where you can see these tools. Let's see. All right, let me know if, Marie, give me a thumbs down if you don't see where I'm headed here. But the first thing I'm going to show you actually is if you are the trainer and you are someone who's just brought somebody onto your business and you're like, okay, what do I do? Well, these amazing RVPs of ours have created some documents that are really, really helpful. And the first one I'm going to show you is actually on our multi-region team Facebook page. Okay, and this is what it looks like. If you haven't been there yet, you'll get there. You'll get there quick. Like after this tonight, go there and look. But there's a file section on the side over here, recent group files. You can select more. You're going to see welcome a new consultant, and then you're also going to see above that how to start a new consultant guide. And that's actually what I'm going to be working off of tonight is this document here. And I'm going to be working through this piece here, which is your business plan meeting. And I'm going to talk to this. But so this is where you're going to access that. And then the other key tool is Carlita Nelson, who is our upline EMVP. She has an amazing website that is a resource for us with tons of documents and trainings and information. She has a getting started section. You go to carlitanelson.com, you put in her, actually the password is just Arbonne, easy, lowercase a works, and you go to getting started, and under tools, you will find our action plan right here. And this is actually what it looks like. And hopefully, if you're coming to this call and you've started this business, you've seen this action plan, somebody has spoken to you about it, and you've printed it out and you've gotten started with it. And what you've done is you've gone through it, you've discovered your whys. This piece right here, guys, is really important. We're going to talk quite a bit about this tonight, but this is your 100-person list. You've hopefully qualified those people. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will soon enough. But really what that means is you've starred people and you've realized who the people are that are at your contact list that you really want to start sharing the business with, because the business is what we're going to lead with. Okay, it's really savvy and it's smart and it's the best thing we can do. So hopefully you have done this. If you haven't, you can do this again. You can print it out and get started. The other thing to note that you should have done too is had a welcome call conversation with your upline RVP. So make sure you have done that so that you've been introduced to them and you've had a conversation, been able to share your whys and what your goals are with this. And then also finally, you will have had 2 months calendars printed out that are blank, that you printed out going forward, that you're going to be able to actually put in your information on what your commitments are for job, for family, for faith, whatever those may be. And then we're going to help you work into where you can fit Arbonne into that calendar. Okay, so those are the 2 documents that I'm going to be working off of tonight. One of the things that I think is really critical that I'm going to move off the documents for a second, that we all kind of just realize is that there's expectations with this. When you do a business like this and you sign up, they don't just call you an independent consultant because they couldn't think of a name. They call you an independent consultant because that's what we are. That's our title. And consultant really, that kind of sounds funny to me in a way. Like I guess that's what I am, but I think I'm more of like someone who's a servant, and I like to share and help people. But the independent part I'm going to touch on real quick, and that is that you are independent. You're your own boss. You have decided to build this business in the way that works best for you and for your life and for your goals and your aspirations and the future you want. But really importantly, attached to that being an independent consultant, your success in this business is because of you. It's not because of the person who signed you up. It's not because of some resume or some experience you had coming into this or didn't have. Your success is really tied to you, and you own that. So I want you to know that that's a really powerful thing, because the only thing that stands in your way is you. You're an independent consultant. And I think sometimes it's easy for us in life in general to say, oh, well, so-and-so didn't help or this didn't work out. And I'm a victim of that myself. I can do this myself in many areas of my life. But the reality is, this is one of the best gifts we have with Arbonne, is that truthfully, it's on us. So you are the independent consultant that owns this business, but you're not alone. And I think this is the gift of Arbonne that many people don't get in the beginning. Well, there's many of them, actually. I'll talk a little bit more about those gifts, but this is one of them. You don't really understand that there's a tribe of people who are here to support you. So you may be an independent consultant who's building your business, whose success rides on your shoulders. However, you have a team of people who want to love you, support you, lift you up, and guide you, because this is a business built on success of others. So your success is what helps our families. It's what helps our dreams. It's what helps our lives. So we want to see you successful. And it's not a selfish thing. We just know the more people we get, it's just, it multiplies. So know if you have a question, if you have a concern, if you don't know where to go for something, or something feels icky to you and you're not, can you guys hear me okay? My internet says it's unstable. Are we okay, Marie?
You're fine. You cut for a second, but it was fine. It came right. You're good now. I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. You know, if you have any of that where you're like, okay, I don't know what to do, or I mean, you reach out. That's why we're here. We're here to help. If you reach out to your sponsor, maybe your sponsor's here, but they don't really know the answer. Reach out to the person above them and up, 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 up. The reality is we like it when people ask us questions, because asking us questions means you're doing something. When we hear silence, you know what that means? You're not doing Arbonne, especially when you're getting started. Because when you get started with anything, you have a gazillion questions. If you're a mom, if you're a wife, if you've tried to driven a stick shift, if you've tried to cook in a kitchen, you don't know what you're doing. If you've done a home project, Marie knows this. She lives with somebody and married to somebody who builds things, right? When you don't know how to do something, there are a lot of questions. So please come to us with those questions, because we want to help you find your success and feel loved and supported. Now, the other thing that I'm going to tell you that's really important is, in order to be successful in this business, you don't have to have a fancy resume. You don't have to have $1 million, and you don't have to have a Hollywood friend list of people who are rich and you know everybody. Okay, those are not right. The first thing you need to do is you need to be able to grow. And I don't mean vertically. I don't mean and that is a weird, well, what you have to do is you have to grow yourself. You have to develop you in your mind. And so we call it personal growth. There are books, there are, and Marie, just so you heads up, this is shady. I can try to move to the other one. Like I have
I was gonna give it one more time. But
let me just try that really quick and see if that changes.
Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, and my printer doesn't connect to this one, so I have to like bump down to use the printer. So maybe that's what will be better. So the reality is you grow yourself and you read personal growth books, and it sounds cheesy in the beginning, but the reality is the skills that you need to build this business are skills that are going to help you in areas of our lives that most of us haven't been trained in. And it feels a little foreign at first, but the really crazy thing is once you dive into this, even if you just read 30 minutes a day, you do your personal growth, maybe you listen to something that's powerful, a training, you start to get kind of addicted to it because it's positive stuff. And we live in a world where we're not getting enough positive into our heads. Most of us are getting filled with negative. So you have to be committed to growing yourself. And I think that the key to this is Arbonne is a vehicle, okay? It's a vehicle in your life to get what you want, but you have to be able to grow to be able to use that vehicle. So my analogy for you tonight is if you had, oh gosh, how scary is this? Some of us would be very frightened by this, but let's say your daughter, your son turns 16 and you live in Southern California and they have a job and they want to learn how to drive so they can get to their job and be successful and feel like they're a happy teenager. And you're going to train them how to drive, but you've never driven. You don't know how to operate the car. You don't really know anything about it. Would you ever get in the car and try to teach someone else how to drive without doing it? No, I mean, it'd be dangerous, right? Like you'd say, no way, I'm not going to do this. Well, the reality is in this business, you have to grow yourself. You have to be prepared so you can go and you can help and contribute. So that's the second thing. You need to be able to contribute, and that means help serve others. And by doing that, the only way we can do that is by growing ourselves. So think of it as driving that vehicle. You would never teach somebody else how to drive. So I wouldn't teach somebody how to fly a plane. I don't know how to fly a plane. I wouldn't teach someone to do that. In this business, you grow yourself so you can grow others. The other piece of that is staying power. And what do I mean by staying power? Well, that's really just staying connected. We have a saying in this business, if you're not staying connected, you're not plugged in, like doing what we're doing right now and talking to the people who love you, who know your whys and all of that, your business will die. So think of the staying connected piece as the fuel for your vehicle. Okay, Arbonne's the vehicle, and that staying connected is the fuel. And so if you don't get on our calls, if you're not connecting up to your upline. If you're not reaching out when you have a really hard day or things that get yucky, and they're going to be yucky moments, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're not doing those things, you're not staying connected, you don't have the fuel to keep your business going, and your business will die. So it's really important that you have the staying power, that you stay consistent. This business is a part-time business, but it's not meant to be worked sometime. And I know there are many of us, I know Marie just kind of made a spot. I know I'm guilty of this completely, thinking I'm doing a ton of art, but I'm not. I'm thinking about it. No, yeah, I'm thinking a lot about it, a lot more than a lot of things, but I'm not really doing it. The truth is, you have to be consistent and stay consistent. It doesn't mean this is the only thing you do, but if you're consistent in the quality of the time you put in the effort, and you make it work during those small pockets of time, that's going to be the staying power. And then finally, it's staying the course. It's not giving up. It's not quitting. It's realizing, and I've said this before, and it's sort of like this thing that I repeat, but many of you haven't heard this, so this is kind of cool. You find a good network marketing company. Statistically, we know you find one that works well, that has a great product, it's consumable, repeatable, reordering products. If you stay with that business plan and you stay the course and you stay consistent, working it part-time, if you do that for 10 years, you have a 95% chance of being at the top level of that business. Top level of Arbonne it's like a surgeon's salary, $25,000 and up, guys. So stay the course. You don't quit. And this comes back to, there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. So as you're starting this business and you're reaching out and you're doing what you need to do, know right now you're going to have yucky days. You're going to have yucky moments that feel like somebody just stabbed you. Someone you love, who you think was going to support everything you ever did. Someone who you thought you're going to tell them about Arbonne and they're going to say, sign me up, actually does the complete opposite. Makes you feel like you made a really weird decision. It makes you feel uncomfortable, and you're like, what? No, you were my person to say yes. It's going to happen. You'll have cancellations. You'll have people who, this happens to me in my business, it happens to all of us, where people who you serve and love and support, and you think they're like part of your tribe, and you like picture yourselves doing all these things through Arbonne together, and they disappear, like literally fall into the Arbonne Witness Production Program, and you don't hear from them. And then you send them a happy birthday message and they don't even reply because they're afraid somehow by happy birthday it's code for, are you doing Arbonne? No, I don't care about Arbonne. I care about you. This happens and it sucks. But the good news is, it doesn't happen that often. The positive things happen more. So there are ups, there are downs. If you're in a marriage, you know there's ups, you know there's downs. You have children, parenting, there's ups, there's downs. It's the same thing with your Arbonne business. So you have to be realistic about it, and you have to stay the course. Too many people quit before payday. And we know a lot of people who give up on this because they couldn't handle the downs. Well, here's the reality. When your kids are throwing tantrums, they're miserable, your husband's a jerk, he doesn't understand what you're trying to tell him, the kids don't go to bed, do you just quit? Do you just say, I'm done with them? My house, those 3 people, I'm over it. I'm packing up. You don't quit on them. Don't quit on this. Stay the course. Growth, consistency, and staying the course. The other thing that we need to talk about is your whys. That's on that action plan. Make sure you know your whys. Make sure your whys are good, strong whys. Many of us start this business with little bitty whys. One of mine was it's a reason to shower and leave the house. Okay, that's cute, but it's not really going to get me through the yucky moments. Maybe it's to go on vacation. Okay, I'm going to show you a way to make that soft why a stronger why that's going to hold you to this. And that's, okay, I want to go on vacation and have time with my family. What if you really actually dive into that a little bit deeper? It's actually, I really need to go on vacation with my family, because the truth is, if I'm really honest, most days I'm barely getting a half an hour, 45 minutes with my children. Most days I'm stressed. Most days I'm hurrying. Most days I feel rushed. Most days I'm anxious. Most days I don't feel like I get to be the person I want to be for the people I love. So I need to escape and go on a vacation, and Arbonne's going to pay for that vacation. Well, that's a little bit stronger why when you think of it that way. So please find your whys, get them written down, be honest with yourself, and then share them with us. Share them with your people who love you in Arbonne. Share them with your family, and make sure we know, because we're going to help you remember those whys when you have those dips. And you will. We all have those dips. The other thing that I'll share with you that's important too is in our business, we have something where it's a $2,500 building block, because the reality is people will say, well, now what do I do? How much do I have to sell? 10,000, 100, 500, what is it? Well, we have this thing, it's a $2,500 building block. And what it really means is Arbonne is a numbers game. It really is. It's if you're a numbers person, you'll love this. If you're not, the simple thing is it's like multiples of 4, so it's actually not that bad. But the reality is Arbonne knows, and we've done this system. We know if you can get out and talk to 40 new people a month and share our business with them, meaning your story, your I story of who you are and how Arbonne works. If you can also, and if you don't know how to do that and you're like, I don't know how to tell people about Arbonne and how it relates to me, on Carlita's website, there's a page there on getting started about how to do your I story, and your upline can help you with that. But the reality is, if you can get in front of people and you can do this in the beginning of your business quick, like just start with excitement, then a lot happens. And I know this from personal experience that sometimes when we start, we're kind of like, well, I got to know everything before I'll go out and do it. But the reality is you don't have to know everything. Just trust the process and trust the people who know, because they know and they've done it. And some of us have fallen on our face, so we know even better. It's a $2,500 building block. And what that means is you get in front of 40 people in a month, and you share the Arbonne products, your story, and the Arbonne story. And the best thing about our whole thing in Arbonne is our business. It's our best products we have. So what we coach and train people to do is we say, okay, let's lead with the business and let's start with that. So when you start your contact list there and you go through and you qualify people and you figure out who the people are, your dream team people, what you're doing right there is you're thinking like a business-minded person. You're thinking like a leader. You're thinking like a mentor, and you're thinking about who you can share this opportunity with. And I'm going to be honest, when I started my business, I didn't want to do this. I did the opposite. I just wanted to give everybody samples and facials and tell them how great Arbonne products were. And if there's one thing I wish I could do and go back and change, it would be that. I really wish I would have listened and just trusted it and went and shared the business, because I think my business would look a lot different today, and I think my confidence would be different. I think that a lot of things would have got played out differently if I had just been faithful to the process and just stepped up in faith and said, okay, I'm going to share the business. And why I know that is because, guys, imagine this. You get a brand new car. It's shiny, it's pretty, it's perfect, and it smells great inside. It's your first new car. Like, you want to take that car, right, and like drive it around. You want to go show your parents, your friends, you bought this car. Well, the reality is you're going to do it like right away. You're not going to like drive the car for 6 months. If it's parked in my driveway right now, it's getting bird poop on it. It's, kids are trashing the inside. And you're not going to then pull up to mom's house and be like, hey, mom, check out my car. Well, you do it in the beginning when it's really exciting, when you have all this enthusiasm, when it smells good, when everybody's excited to see it. And when you share the gift of Arbonne as a business with people from the beginning, there's so much that can happen. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to be an expert. We help you do this. And what we do too is we do this within a 10 to 15 hour a week plan. So that's great, because this business is meant to be worked alongside something you're already currently doing. I think sometimes people think that those of us who are like stay-at-home moms just do only Arbonne. That's not true at all. We have other lives, but there are a lot of people who work full-time and have full-time professional careers that pull this in alongside, and they fit it in. And we help you do that. And what we do is we help you realize that by leading with the business, and we call this actually the funnel system. So by leading with the business from the very beginning, think of it as a funnel, okay? And at the top, this is where we want everything to start up here, right? And so we're starting with the business, and we ask people to take a peek at our business. And you do it in a way that works. And most of you probably had somebody ask you to take a peek at business, so you know what this is, right? The other side of it is when you do that, you're able to actually, if people aren't interested in the business, you're able to move down and ask them to take looks at a few other things like hosting and products and referrals. And I'll talk a little bit more about it. So when you know you're ready to get started, we say, okay, You're going to lead with a business, and you're going to start sharing Arbonne. And the best thing you can do is those 2 months that you have empty there in your calendars, besides fill in of all your priorities, is you take those 2 months and you start to fit Arbonne in. And we show you how to do that. And one of the things we do is right away we say, okay, find 5 people on that list. That was 5 people to take a look at your business. That's starting with the business, right? And we call those dream team people. I like to say we have Arbonne fairy dust. We plot fairy dust on them and they say yes to Arbonne. So they do 5 take a peeks. And you do that with your RVP. They get on a phone call or you do a Zoom like this and they share the business and their practice and their experience, and it helps build from there. From there, then you end up saying, okay, now I've done that. I'm also going to find a spot in my calendar to do 6 to 10 presentations. Now that sounds really crazy, but the average presentation is about 3 hours from start to finish. So you can find a couple times a week. Most of us can find a Saturday morning or a Thursday evening where you can sneak out and go and do this. So you block those times off. And you have time where you know, okay, this is where I'm going to go and do some group presentations. In addition to that, within that group, you have 2 presentations that you are going to use as personal presentations at your home. And they're kind of the backup. So if I invited someone like Marie, let's say, and I asked her to actually host something for me and she couldn't do it, then she's going to say, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, well, guess what? I have an event on Friday night. Could you pop in? I'm doing facials. I'd love your support. And we move through that. The other thing about it too is you also have, so you have space for presentations. You have a couple walk-offs for your events. Usually we would do one at my house at the beginning of the month, and you would do one at your house at the end of the month, so that you have, you know, kind of some gaps in between. And then what you do is you have a block off where you share the business with people, and we call them one-on-ones. And so this is all something we do. We sit down, we say, okay, where can you fit these in? And even the busiest people have spots for Arbonne. You might have to change your priorities a little bit, but you will find your spots, which is powerful. And then what we do is we ask, and this is important. So if you look, I'm going to share screen quick here again. If you look at this getting started action plan that we talked about, and if you go down to this, take a look, okay? And we go through this process where we reach out. I say to somebody like Marie, I say, Marie, I've been thinking about you because I know you guys want to move. I know your husband wants to get out of his job that's really physically demanding. And I reach out and I say, I started this business with Arbonne. I'm super excited. Their products are so healthy. I really see it as a way for me to help my family and help my husband out of the corporate rat race. And I thought of you, Marie, because I know Andrew's really tired of beating his body up. And I know you guys want to have more time together as a family. And I know you want to move south. And so I was thinking this could be a wonderful gift for you and your family as well. And it might not be a fit for you, but would you be willing to? And from there, I ask, would you be willing to take a peek at this business? And if she can't, then I move down. We have all of the verbiage right here. And verbiage sounds weird in the beginning. It sounds like you're a robot and you don't want to do it, but do it. Trust the process. Like I said, this is proven and it works, and it helps you build your confidence. And you can role play, you can go through the whole thing. But as you do this, you move through and you then say, okay, well, if you can't book an event if you can't take a peek at the business, would you be willing to get a few friends together? And I could come and just share these products. I know you're going to love them. And by asking that, then you're asking for one of those events. And you go through, if she says yes, then I have my dates. I say, oh my gosh, would a Thursday or a Saturday morning work better for you? And you know where you're going, and you're the driver of your Arbonne vehicle, which is great because I've done this many times where I'm like, oh, okay, let me know what works for you. Well, they don't let me know because they have a life, and Arbonne is not a priority. And then the other piece of that is, let's say they can't do that. They don't want to get on a call. They don't have a home that they can host in. They live in a van down by a river or something. And now you're like, what do I do? Well, then you can actually say, well, you know, would you be willing to come to one of my events that I'm having at my house on Friday night? I would love for you to come pop in, bring your mom, bring your sister, whatever. It's just the process of moving down that funnel. And by doing so, you can get some opportunity to interface with these people and share the gift of Arbonne. And in this document, you're going to see all the verbiage, but the important thing to know is that it works. And then finally, I'm going to just tell you a couple of really quick things because I'm sort of running out of time and it's horrible on my end. So let me just zoom really quick through A couple of pieces that I think are really important. Make sure that you think about who's around you and who needs Arbonne. Listen for their dreams, their desires, their discontents, because there will be people around you that you're going to start to hear that they need Arbonne, and don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to start with the business. And also know that if you start getting a lot of no's, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, we usually say if you get 3 in a row, just tweak something. You might need to tweak something with someone on your team. Reach up and just say, hey, this is what I said. Is this working? Do you think I should tweak something? And we've all been there. And sometimes, I mean, I still have to tweak things. We all do. But I just think that it's important to be willing to ask. And it's okay to hear no. No means you're asking, guys. And then the other thing I will tell you is there's a couple of things. There's Voxer, which is an amazing walkie-talkie app. Your upline will tell you a bit about it, but make sure you download Voxer, because it allows you to really quick communicate with people, feel connected. Doesn't matter where you're located. People in Australia can feel connected to people here in New York, and that's the gift. Now, our timing's a little off, but we can feel connected, which is amazing. We didn't have this when I started this 4.5 years ago. You guys, there's so many blessings through technology that I can't even go into. I feel like an old lady when I think back to like Marie, right? Like our call-ins for the conference, just totally different world that we have. And it's a blessed time to be able to join this business. And then finally, I'll tell you, we have a Facebook group page. And I mentioned that where I said it's the multi-team page, our multi-region team page. Make sure you get to that page and that you're on it and that you know there's files there. In addition to that, there is also a YouTube channel. It's a multi-region YouTube channel, and there are videos and great trainings available to you there that are phenomenal resources, and these things get posted. So just know that there's so much here for you, and it's hard in 30 minutes to really just cram it all in. But the best thing is that it's here, and you have us. And I'm so excited for all of you to get started, and some of us to get restarted. Thank you.
Jessica, thank you so much. Amazing wisdom, amazing insight. I love how you're so real, but then you encourage people to how to get through things and how to look at things positively and turn it around. And so thank you so much for that. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.